Hello, everyone. My name is Jacqueline, and I'm a product manager at Microsoft. One of the products I work on is Visual Studio Code for Education, which is a free online computer science education platform. In this video, I'll walk through our new content authoring workflow in Visual Studio Code for Education. This feature allows teachers, curriculum providers, and really anyone who wants to create learning materials build their own lessons and courses right within VS Code for Education. Feel free to follow along with me as I walk through this process. You will need a browser with internet access, a login for VS Code for Education, and a GitHub account. If you don't already have a GitHub account, you can create one for free at github.com/signup. To get started, open a browser window to vscodeedu.com and then click to sign in with a Microsoft, Google, or Clever account. I'll go ahead and just sign in with my Microsoft account. At the top of the home page, you will see an Authoring tab appear in the navigation bar. Clicking this tab will open the Authoring page, which will show you all the courses that you have authored. It will be blank the first time you open it, but once you create a few courses, you'll see a list of them appear in this view. You can see the course title and description, the language used in the course, the status, and also the last published date. You can also take actions, like you can publish a course, you can open the GitHub repo that your course is stored in, you can download the course as a zip file, or delete the course. Click on the Create New button to create a new course. Each course is saved in a GitHub repository, so you will be prompted to link to your GitHub account. Go ahead and click Continue to GitHub button, and then you should select to authorize VS Code EDU. In the Create Activity dialog window, you can give your course a title, like Intro to CS, a description, select whether the course will use Python or web technologies, and then whether you want the course to be stored in a private or a public GitHub repository. Public repositories are accessible to everyone on the internet, and private repositories are only accessible to you or people you explicitly share access with. But even if your course is stored in a private repo, students will still be able to access your published course through VS Code for Education. All right, so go ahead and click Create Activity. The first time you create a course, you will also have to authorize Visual Studio Code to access your GitHub account. And again, the first time you do this, you also have to allow the GitHub repository extension to access your GitHub account. So select Allow and select your GitHub account. In the middle of this screen is where you're going to do your content and code editing. And on the left side of this pane, you will see the Save Activity window. So let's go ahead and make some changes here, and you can see that Save Activity button now is enabled. This allows you to save or commit any recent changes to where your course is stored in a GitHub repo. You can optionally add a comment here like created a first page and click Save. You can also go directly to that repo by clicking on this link here. And you can see my commit history, created a first page. I highly, highly recommend you saving your progress often so you don't lose work. Now below this Save Activity window is the Authoring pane, which shows you the table of contents or the outline of your course. The course hierarchy is structured based on units, lessons, and pages. To create new items in your course, click the plus icon. And then to reorder items in your course, you can click the up and the down arrows to move things around. And then to delete items, just click the trash can icon. And then at the very bottom of the left pane is the File Explorer window, which will show any code files associated either with the full course or with a specific lesson page. You can create global code files for the whole course by clicking on this globe icon, which will bring you to the command palette. So I'm going to select Create New Global File, and then I'm going to give my file a name, main.py. Now, the code that's associated in this file will be available throughout the course. So, global code file. You can also create code files that are for specific individual pages in your course by clicking this plus icon in the File Explorer window. And it will also bring you to the command palette where you can also give that file a name. And this new file, .py, this will be a code file for only this page. If you click on the course, unit, or lesson folders in this authoring window, you will see the settings field for each section of your course. The course settings fields will display information that will appear on the front page of your course when it is published. On the lesson settings field, you can see some additional CSTA standards to align your lesson with. So let's go ahead and just select a few standards to align this lesson. All right. Now, when you create a new page, let's go ahead and create new. You'll see you have an option to have an AI assistant help generate the full page content for you. I'll come back to this later, but for now, let's go ahead and skip to a blank page. Now in this page content window at the top, you can see we can edit the title of the page. Let's go ahead and change this to, let's do Introduction to Lists. Okay. And then you can also access page level settings by opening and closing the settings pane here. Below that is this formatting toolbar, which includes some text formatting tools. So let me go ahead and paste some text in here to demonstrate. All right, so let's make this first a heading. Let's format some text, italic maybe. Let's format this quote here. And then we can change this into a code block. All right. For more advanced editing capabilities, you can create your content in Markdown syntax directly by clicking on this Markdown toggle. Markdown is a standard content formatting language. So here let's add an H3 maybe. Okay. In addition to text formatting, you can also insert images. So let's go ahead and insert an image here. Upload a file. Okay. And I can add a caption. So shopping list. And of course, resize these images. All right. Then at the bottom of the page, you'll see you can add some formative assessment questions for students. And the types of questions that can be added are string, where the response is just an open text field, single choice, which is actually a multiple choice question, but with a single correct answer, and multiple choice question with multiple correct answers, and reflection question, which is open journal style question with like no correct answer. So let's go ahead and select single choice here, and let's add a true or false question in here. True or false. List items in Python can be of any data type. So the correct answer is true, which we're going to put here. The incorrect answer is false. And we can also select an explanation to add to any of these answers. So I'm going to click that little bubble here, and I'm going to put in this explanation. All right. There are some helpful generative AI tools included in this content authoring experience to help with creating and editing content and generating questions. As with all Microsoft AI services, we go through a rigorous responsible AI compliance process to evaluate the service against our standards, testing for accuracy, safety, and security. But as with all generative AI, results may vary. So we encourage you to always validate and copy edit any AI-generated content. When creating a new page for your lesson, the AI assistant can help you generate a first draft of content for an entire page or only generate an outline for the page content. You can type a prompt here to describe the type of content you would like to see on the page. There are system-level prompts that already set the context and ground the prompt, so you don't need to worry about that. Simply type in the topic for the page content. For example, let's do a page about sorting algorithms and select Generate. Once you have some content on the page, you can use the AI editing assistant in the formatting toolbar to help you edit the content. For example, you can rewrite, you can insert, you can set the reading level or the content length. Let's go through each one of these. All right, so let's select this first paragraph and select Rewrite, selected text. And you can give it a prompt to explain how you would like to see this rewritten. How about describe an algorithm? Okay. So now for any of the resulting generated content, you can choose to accept the changes, discard, or regenerate the content. This looks pretty good, so let's go ahead and click accept. All right. You can also insert content into your page. So you can insert paragraphs, code examples, or summaries of an external source. Let's go ahead and insert a paragraph here. And again, let's give it a prompt. Include an unplugged activity for sorting lists. All right. Let's hit accept. The AI assistant can also help you re-level your page content. So for example, if we wanted to set the reading level for this content to be 7 to 12 years old, we can optionally provide additional instructions and then select adjust. All right, and you can see how the text explanations become much shorter, the words less complex, and more use of sort of everyday language and analogies. Let's go ahead and select accept. Lastly, the editing AI assistant can also help with expanding or shortening the content on the page. Let's try expanding the content. And again, you can choose to optionally provide more instructions and then select adjust. Let's see what it gave us. Space complexity, stability. I don't really like what it did, so I'm just going to go ahead and click discard to get back to my original version. All right, so in addition to the editing AI assistant at the bottom of the page, there is also an AI assistant for adding questions. And it will create questions based on the content of the page and any other optional instructions you give it. So let's go ahead and create a question with AI. And again, you can add additional instructions here or just hit enter. All right, let's see what question it gave us. Okay, this looks pretty good. So let's keep that. Now, to see the student view of a course, you will need to publish your course. Make sure you've saved all your changes first. So added page 1 and 2. Hit Save Activity. And then click on the rocket ship icon in the activity bar on the very far left. This will open the publishing pane where you can click to publish the course. All right, now this will create a link to your course, which you can copy to share with your students, or you can open it directly to see the student view of your course and go through your course this way. You can also republish your course if you've made any updates or changes. This will generate a new link to your course. And you can also unpublish your course to remove access. We hope this feature is helpful for teachers to create their own lessons and course materials in Visual Studio Code for Education. If you have any questions or thoughts on this experience, or would like to share the curriculum that you've created, please post to the VS Code for Education community forum at community.vscodeedu.com. Thanks.